as a lot of you know, the Victor Wembanyama Black Prism 1 of 1 has been pulled. And some of you may know this card also got a PSA 10, which in turn it made this card's value skyrocket. But there has been a lot of controversy around this card. One of the controversies is that Kurt's card care got shouted out during the video where they're like, oh, we got a 10 shout Kurt's card care, this, that, third. A lot of people were bugging out about that. Some old heads, some really big card enthusiasts. It got really bad to the point where Ryan Hoge had to come out with a statement and said the following. Lots of conversations about this card in the recent day. I got to hold it and its cousin while they were both in house. PSA stands by the original assessment, and our graders did not detect anything with the service deemed that it was altered. That said, I want to clarify, PSA doesn't approve of any chemicals or foreign substances being added to the surface of a card to improve the condition or appearance. If we detect that this has happened to any card, we will consider it altered. So people were thinking that it got a higher grade because they used Kurt's card care to quote unquote alter the card, and people weren't really thrilled about the centering on the card either. But I did some deep diving myself, and this is all from Kurt's Card Care's website. Shout out to him. If you look at his website, kurtzcardcare.com, you see that it is and this is from his words, not mine, an all natural spray that quick dries that can clean fingerprints, smudges, ink spots, and even reduce dents and wrinkles on vintage paper cards. Tom, I know you feel very strongly about this, so I'm going to let you have the floor.
No, I mean, for me, shout out to Kurt's Card Care, bro. That stuff is magic. I see absolutely no problem with cleaning off a card, especially based on the quality control of PSA's cards from time to time. Anyways, my biggest pet peeve with this entire thing is, you've already brought it up, is the freaking centering on this card is absolutely not any better than 60/40. There is no way, other than PSA trying to grab money, saying, okay, 100K cards, you owe us $3,000 for grading, we're going to give you a 10. Like, you can clearly see in the picture we have up on the screen that is way off to the right and probably a little high on the top as well. So if anything, this is a 9 to me all day long. And that's on the best end. I don't think it has anything to do with them cleaning. It needs to be consistency in grade is what you guys need to be focusing on. And we brought this up. Mike McCara had a bunch of cards that we subbed in, as well as some of our own stuff. I have a 1990 hand signed, been sitting in a freaking binder for 30 years. I subbed in Leroy Horde from a Browns fan. Had him sign it in my front yard of my house. It was seeing my neighbor. Crazy story. That got a 7. Mike submitted a 2023 Mosaic Bryce Young White Introductions. That card was clean as hell. There was not a single smudge, scratch, anything on the surface. Maybe a little bit of a soft corner. That card came back at effing 6. How does my card that's 30 years old in a binder a 7, and this card that is clear and clean a 6? And then a card like this where you can clearly look at it in the holder and see that it is extremely off-centered, and yet that got a 10. I got a 10 because the difference in price for them was 50K. So you're getting a $1,000 grade fee, or you're getting a $2,000 grade fee. That's the elephant in the room you should have been focusing on trying to talk about, and not talk about, hey, yeah, we don't care about card cleaning is altering. No, his stuff's all natural. It's the same thing as washing your hands. Like, you're not going to go through life not wiping these cards off before you send them. Everybody does it, whether they're using Kurt's Card Care, whether they're using spit. Who cares? But I'm sorry, this card is not a 10 to me. Congratulations, whoever hit this got it graded and you got it back at 10. You know, more power to you. It's not your fault. But I don't, just look at the picture, Nation. You can tell this is not, this card compared to some of the stuff that I've subbed that's come back 7s, 8s, and 9s along the way has been better than this. And this is a 10. So whatever. That's my big pet peeve, man. It's the inconsistency in gradings. It's not so much that. It all depends on what grader you get, what his attitude and what he feels like for that day, and that's what your cards are getting. So that's where I think they need to focus their time and effort, not about whether I'm using a cleaning substance to clean my card. You need to be worrying about whether you're consistent in your grades. Shout out to your boy SGC, man. That's the one thing that I think SGC's got right, is they're consistent. It's consistent. Maybe a little higher than maybe a PSA would give sometimes, but it's consistent. The same card, you could crack the case center, you probably get the same damn grade again. I want to crack this Bryce Young White. I want to document me cracking this case out of a 6, resubmitting it, and watching it come back a 9 or a 10. You know, so it's like I said, it's inconsistency in grade. This is not a 10 to me. You know, just looking at it, you know, I'm not the grader at PSA, but you make your decision, Nation, looking at it. Is that a 10? Jury's out on that one.
I totally agree with you. And if you were to crack that card, would you go back to PSA or would you would?
Yeah. Well, Mike's a heavy PSA guy. I mean, SGC is an option, but I want to prove it to them that you're just inconsistent. Because like I said, this card is clean. I mean, if my background wasn't blurred, I'd show it to you. But there's no reason why this damn card is
the background. Show it for the people. Show it for the people.
Yeah, man. You tell me what about this card constitutes a 6. I mean, she is clean. That does not constitute no damn 6. And this card, albeit I got an 8 on the auto, understandable, but that's a 7. Like, that's a better grade than this card. I can clearly see on this card soft corners. Like I said, it's been sitting in a binder for 30 years. This card was fresh from pack, right into a top loader, literally right to PSA. So, yeah, come on.
Yeah, Mark says clearly not centered. I feel the same way with the ones you've sent for me. It's just, dude, wildly inconsistent with them.
Yep.
It's a shame. You're the biggest grading company, and it's just, I don't know. It just seems like they're just trying to get shit out the door at this point, man. It's kind of upsetting.